Hey everybody, Phil and the Vin Man here, and it's good old Jets 55. It's been a while. We've been busy. We've been out and about. Some of us have been traveling, right? So we're thrilled to be. Yeah, there you go. We're doing number 14 right now. I can't believe we've done 14 of these already. Well,
14.
yeah. So obviously, everybody wants to hear. They're very interested to see what we think about this year's schedule because we always get it right, no matter what, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so we're gonna do our little jet count in a little bit, and we'll come up with the wins and the things that we think are going to happen this year a little bit, and obviously the whole season that'll all unfold. But there's a few things going on that we're going to talk about before we get to that part when we go over the schedule and whatever. And I know, Vinny, you got a couple of things on your mind, and
Yeah.
start
Listen,
that off.
listen. We all know how much these guys make. Fine. It is what it is. Make ridiculous amounts of money. It's all good. But I'm personally getting tired of these guys when they want that 50 years coming around or whatever. Or they want to break the contract. They want so much money. That's okay. All well and good. Because how many times do you see them go to a player? Oh, it's your third year. You know what? I know it's a 5-year contract. We want to change the contract and give you less. Okay. You don't hear stuff, but I get it. Okay. So the owners, oh, they got the money. I get it. I get it. But there are caps. There are things you have to be responsible for. But love Quinn Williams. I want him to be a Jet. I love his brother Quincy. They signed him. He's great. He's done everything right, Quinn Williams. But when they do this stuff on Twitter or whatever he's on, and he's like, oh, he's and it blanks out New York Jets. To me, he's like, what do you think? Joe Douglas is looking at that. Oh my goodness! You see what he did? We got to sign him now. Let's sign him because look what he did. Jamal Adams started his not shutting up pretty much, and this and that, the other thing. I don't understand. And they're not the only guys. I'm not talking about just the Jets. All these plays, when this occurs, they think that doing this silliness that the GM sits there and goes, well, yeah, look at what he did on Twitter. Oh my goodness, he's not a New York Jets player anymore. At least that's what he's saying on Twitter. Well, we got to sign him. That's affecting me. So I'm getting a little tired of it. We like to be positive on Jets 55. I want him. He's a great player. He's a great person. I'm not
It's funny
denying.
that you say that though, because they all think to a man that they have to maximize everything right away, and it's a game that goes on back and forth. And it's funny when you say, no one actually negotiates the salary down. We're old. We remember when the Mets had, Ralph Kiner. If anybody remembers Ralph Kiner, Kiner's Corner, guy used to tell stories about when he was playing. He went in for a race, and I think it was Branch Rickey. He said to him, "No, we could finish last without you." You know what I mean? So
Well, that's when he was a big home run
he
hitter, so they
yeah,
were coming in last.
and didn't
So
matter. So we can finish last without you. So those guys, I know it's nothing like that. It shouldn't be like that, but it's just that we know that Rodgers is the story. We know that a lot of these guys don't want to get eclipsed by that, and Quinn Williams will never have a better moment to kind of maximize it. But let's not squabble. 25 million over the next, 5-6 years, where 60 million's guaranteed. Like an Aaron Donald kind of contract is crazy because Aaron Donald has been doing it for 7 years, 6 years. So you cannot compare him yet to that. Can you be close? Yes. So if we're going to squabble over 2 or 3 million one way or another, and he's still going to get a ton of guaranteed money, enough. Just get it done. I don't, he is the real important cog here. We got to get him in there, and they will get him in there. There's no doubt. But
I think they will. But like I said, the only thing for me is like, I get it. Listen, the injuries could be horrific. Career could be over instantly. Even though they made a ton of money already, more than any average person like us will ever make.
he's still
But
on the contract,
50 lifetimes, really, think about it.
Yeah.
But so I get what he wants, but I just always this stuff where they do these little silly, comments or taken away, or I just
I like
can't.
on Twitter, that game, the whole social media thing. You don't know how much of that is the guy, or if it's his staff, or what he really believes. He sounds like he's this nice guy. His brother signed. I don't think his brother comes here thinking that Quinn Williams isn't going to be there. But it's just like with Aaron Rodgers, they made us bust to get it done. But it becomes a problem when you start with the camp, Now it doesn't mean anything, but in a little bit it will. Just like with Rodgers, had to get it done before the draft. There's a deadline. You don't want this guy who's so important missing workouts. I mean, he is, I'm sure, even though he's not following their plan, he's doing what he has to do to get ready for the year. I believe that. But
And I also think, you got to think, and it has to be in the back of his mind. Aaron Rodgers is going to make a ton of money with the Jets. A lot of it's going to be up front. A lot of it's going to be guaranteed. We see that, what's going on and what he's going to wind up getting. So I'm sure in the back of his mind, it could be a little bit like, I'm an original, man. I'm an original on defense. I'm the guy on defense. I'm the guy that leads the charge. I'm the guy that helps make this defense really what it is. Work it out for me. So I can understand that point of view. Maybe that could be the thinking. Maybe I'm totally off, but
no, you're not.
take care of me. But again, I have no problem with all of that. The thing is, just the social media stuff that they do, I just find it very like a little.
It's a little childish, but I
really think JD's looking at that, and oh my goodness, we really got to figure this out now.
Yeah, but the thing is, we can't buy into any of that because it's just drives you crazy. But I think you're right that think of it this way: Rodgers, no matter what, it's only going to be 2 or 3 years at the most, right? 1, 2, 3, maybe. Maybe 1, 2, maybe 1. Quentin Williams, you want him there 7 years. You want these guys, Garrett Wilson. You want Breece Hall if he's healthy again. You want Sauce. You want these guys to build a dynasty. I know it's way ahead, and people have the Jets. They're going to win the suit. Like everybody's all of a sudden with the swag and the swagger. We're all be strong. Don't be negative, Jet fans. Now it's like It's like no, that's not the answer. It's let it happen, enjoy it, and let them perform. Don't go in there like we're tough this and we're going to win that. Look at the Mets. They're doing nothing right now. And they're going to, with the trumpets and we're going to win the world. So just play. You go out there, you do what you have to do and prove it. So the fans and the mindset should be not negative, right? Not like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is gonna hurt himself, in preseason. Oh my God, out for the year. I mean, shit like that could happen. But you don't say that, you don't expect that. You figure the guy will be all right. But at the same time, don't have them in the Super Bowl without playing 1 second yet. Let's relax, So, but don't let yourself, when people knock the Jets, no, you have no right to do that. You don't know yet what's going to be. Like they'll laugh at them. It's like, yeah, I don't think so. It's like, well, listen, they had a massively great defense last year. So you got to replicate that. Quentin Williams, out of it. So you got to have him back, Simple.
I think he'll be back. And overall, listen, we've been talking about Rodgers, happy to have him. I thought there was a great shot of him and Garrett Wilson on the field. And he has his hand on talking to Garrett. And you can see Garrett Wilson is listening intently. And he has his hand on his shoulder. And when was the last time we said, I don't think it's ever happened, we have a quarterback really taking charge, talking to a player like that, talking to his receiver. I can imagine just what he was saying. So back to the positive stuff.
Benny, you're right. Aaron, of our quarterbacks, it's never, yeah.
No, never. But how long is he's going to last? Let's enjoy the ride. I'm happy to have him. Speaking of Aaron in the season, we're going to do this. We're going to let our fans know exactly what the record's going to be. The Jets' record will be this season. We pretty much, we know we're going to be pretty spot on. But are you ready to go for this, my friend? Are you ready to start rambling?
And you know what? It's funny because we know around the league, all the real fans always do this. We used to, as soon as the schedule came out, we're on the phone and we go up and down the list. This is honestly going back, to like 1980 or something, 45 years, whatever the heck it is. We used to do this every year. What do you think? What do you think? And we're usually optimistic, but then we're realistic too, right? But this year, you're right. It's really interesting. So I think
this is predicated on 17 games of a healthy Aaron Rodgers. Okay. This is if he's playing 17 games.
So let's do this the way we used to do it. Like
I have a wonderful record for the Jets, by the way. But we'll do it one at a time.
No, but no. We do like we used to do with the phone. We go each game, win, loss. and then we go down, 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 down. Then we'll go and talk about each. What do you think? Like we'll go W? Yes. L? No. What do you think? Well, yeah, we could do it that way. And then we just get it down, and then we could talk about it a little bit more and unravel it. What do you think?
Let's go. Let's do it. Ready?
All right. So game one, Buffalo.
Win.
I got them winning, Vin. I got them winning the first game. What do you
Come on. Winning. They're winning. Monday Night Football.
Oh, there we go.
Gonna be rocking. Obviously, the Bills are gonna be ready. They're gonna be like, yeah, here we go. You got Rodgers. Well, still got a lot to answer, but I'm gonna give our boys with Rodgers a good start on Monday Night Football. I don't want to, jinx it, but he's like, I think the last he's 9-0 in Monday Night Football games.
Yeah, but Josh Allen, that defense wants to show him a thing or two, and that we can get into the defense. We get all of it. I think they win that game. It's Monday Night Football. I think they're up to the task. Okay,
we want to know, baby.
And then we'll unravel it a little bit more. Then at Dallas, you know what? I don't buy Dallas as big as others do. I think they go in and win that game. Call me crazy.
You know what? I'm going to give that. I'll show you why. Because after Dallas, it's going to get interesting for me. I'm going to give that one. You're writing this down. Because I'm not going to remember. I'm going to give that one, or at least me or you, or both. I'm going to give Dallas as a loss. I'm going to give it a little reality.
Okay. Got it.
It's going to be a tough game. I'm going with a loss.
Yeah, that's one that I'm going to come back to later. But my gut initially, you're going to win the game. Okay. But we'll talk more about that later. New England at home.
First of all, if we don't win, if Rodgers plays and he's healthy, plays the whole game and we don't win, I'm done, man. I'm done. So right. 2-1.
No more check nonsense. You win the game. Okay. Then you got Kansas City at home.
You know what? It's early in the season. I'm going to give you a win. Not be you're a Jets fan. This is about the passion. But I'm going to give it a win because I think it's good to get Kansas City pretty quick. And that defense, let me tell you, they give up a lot of points. So play here or there. I think the Eagles actually should have won that Super Bowl. I still think it's big that they don't have Tyreek Hill. Mahomes is great. But maybe I think they're going to have, for them, a pretty average season, Kansas City. We're getting them early, so I'm going to give that one to us, too.
I'm giving them a loss only because I also have them winning the first 3 in a row. And I think by the time, Mahomes and company come to town, they're going to really have some good intel on the Jets. And I think they're going to try to exploit the defense a little bit. I see them maybe winning, but if they lose, I think it'll be a close one. So I got to give them a loss there because it's KC. But I don't want to. I want them to win every freaking game, But I'll give them a loss on that one.
In a different way, we both have them at 3-1.
You got it. So that's the first quarter, right? Then at Denver, come on.
I mean, let's not even talk about it. It's got to be a win. I know Russell Wilson is probably going to play better, but you got to take care of business there. Come on.
Now you got
Mile High.
Yeah, I mean Russell Wilson, and don't forget you got Hackett going back to Denver. He's got to show them what he's really made of with his own guy now. So, you got to believe that they'll be able to do something in Denver. You would hope.
I think they'll do it for old Hack.
Right, the Hack attack. All right. Then you come home against Philly. Does Jalen Hurts hurt us? I don't know, man. What do you think?
I'm taking that, I'm giving it, it's going to be tough, but I'm giving it to us, man.
Me too.
I'm giving that one to us, too.
Okay. Think about it.
I think Salah's going to figure out a way to get the hurt a little bit, to put a hurting on him. Maybe, not let him get away. Have somebody on him. I think he'll figure out some kind of real football strategy, unlike what I'm saying. And I think we can take that one too. So I have us at 5-1 to start.
Me too. Now think of it this way. That's the game going into the bye week. So we both have them at 4-1. Okay. So if they somehow come home and from Denver and beat Philly and go into the bye at 5-1, then if everyone's healthy, people could start talking about a Super Bowl. Then, okay? Because all you hear is how the back end of the schedule for them is a little better. It's a little more user-friendly than the front end, right? They got some rough games up front. Well, we just picked those games apart, and in good old Vin and Phil fashion, We have them at 5-1. So, but I do believe
Look,
they're going to win these games. If they're going to win a Super Bowl
you
with
know,
Aaron Rodgers, he beats the NFC East. He beats these.
listen,
He can
the
do it.
reality is that first six, 3-3 possible. But if it's 4-2 going into the bye, I think you're still feeling good at 4-2.
Absolutely. Okay. So
But
after
we
that,
got 5-1, but you feel good at 4-2.
so now they have a week off. They go rest themselves. They go to the beach. They relax, and they come back, and they have a road game against the Giants. They're on the road. They get an extra game at home, right?
I think
They
we're
beat
better.
the Giants, man.
Listen. It's
Got it.
not because they're the Giants. I got a friend of mine who's a Giants fan. All he does is text how horrible the Jets are going to be. Rodgers does all these. He doesn't stop. I don't respond because it's just not.
Childish, yeah.
What am I going to say? But just being very plain about this, I just think right now at this time that I feel like the Jets are a better team than the Giants. So then I have us at 6-1.
Now,
Simple
Vic,
as
you're right. Coming off the bye to play the Giants, and it's not a road game, it's at home, is big. Now, we have them beating Josh Allen. I have them beating Prescott. You have Prescott beating them. We both have them beating Mac Jones. We're split on Mahomes, right? Russell Wilson, we have them beating, and Jalen Hurts, we got him beating. Daniel Jones, you're going to win that game. I'm sorry. They'll figure out Daniel Jones and what he's all about. I got to believe. I don't buy him, Dan. So he doesn't scare us at all. So I don't think that's a big deal. So yeah. So I got that win too. I figured that out too.
And as we're doing this, to our fans out there, you're going to see our email pop up. After this is over, we want you to send some emails out, yay or nay, what you think the record might be. Do you think we're close? Do you think we're crazy? Because I know when we end this, the record I have is going to be pretty out there.
Yeah.
And see, so keep
And
looking at
respond, or just respond to on the website. Just let us know what you think, because we've been doing this forever, and 20 years is forever for a lot of people too. It does. You're gonna be 40 years old, and you'll be a Jet fan since you're 16. That's forever too, man. That's 24 years, 25 years. We've been doing this since 1967, but we understand that universe of people keeps shrinking every year. We're all dying, getting older. But guys that are Jet fans 25, 30 years, 40 years, you've been suffering too. So when you hear us go over this with a positive mindset, it also comes from not just the quarterback, but I'm going to go into it too, because I think when you look at this team and where they're going, you have to be bullish on the Jets with or without Rodgers. But we'll get into that in a minute. And they got a rough one then at home against the Chargers.
Well, that's a Monday Night Football game. The limelight is on them again. I think Rodgers has a big game. I think it could be high scoring on both ends. But I say we take that one.
I have them winning that one too.
We always seem to do pretty well against San Diego in different forms or matter or whatever. We always seem to be able to handle things. And I like Herbert. He's good, man. That kid is good.
He had struggles last year a little bit. He did.
A little bit, but I think overall, we have more weapons than him. I think the better defense. So let's go with that victory too.
And you're making a good point, because the weapons for Rodgers, we're going to go into that. That's mind blowing what's going on, what they've done. So, the Chargers don't have those weapons. They have a couple of good receivers and a really good quarterback, but now the Jets have a top 5 all time, top 10, whatever, right? Okay. So we have W's there. Then we go in to see Jimmy Garoppolo in Vegas, which I bet you a lot of Jet fans are going to go and see the game and spend the weekend in Vegas. Maybe that's one, but that's got to be a W. No, I mean, come on.
If Garoppolo's out there and Rodgers is out there and we don't take care of business, that would be a big disappointment. So I'm giving that one a W. And again, just feeling like we're a better team. We got the better quarterback. Just let's take it to them. I just think I want us to beat them handily, even though it's a road game. That's how I feel.
Okay, so that's 9 games. Basically, now that's halfway, right? Because there's 17. We both have them at 8-1. Okay, so now we come where it's that crossroads where they go up into Buffalo. And now you gotta.
We just gotta say 8-2, just for the general principles of.
Yeah, you're not going to win every game, and if we have them beating the Buffalo Bills on our own turf, and the Jets are a game or two ahead of them there, it's do or die for them. They don't want to miss the division. They're going to win that game at home at all costs. So maybe they'll surprise us, maybe not. But I'm with you there. That'll be a tough one. We'll be at 8-2. Then we come home, and we have 3 in a row at home.
And I'll tell you right now, I can condense it. We got it. 11-2. Win all 3. I'm sorry. What do we got? Dolphins, Falcons, and Texans. You got to win all 3.
You do. You must. And if you do that, right? Jesus, now you're 11-3, right? 11-2.
11-2. Don't play down to the level of the Falcons.
Go look at those quarterbacks after Allen. Tua, I think he's good, but he's not in the same class as Allen and those guys. You never know if he's going to be hurt. Then you have Mike White coming in. So welcome home, Mike. And you got nobody at a quarterback at Desmond Ryder. I don't know who Atlanta, and Houston is Stroud. So he's a rookie. So who knows what he's going to be? So those 3 you got to win. So yeah. So I too have them 11-2. Then you go into Miami. I got them losing that one.
You give them that one. You give them. It makes this 11-3, and I feel like that's like a doable record. Maybe the 3 losses might be a little different. Obviously, then a win here or there would be different. But I could see that after 14 games being 11-3.
Yep.
And this is predicated on that every game has Rodgers. And that they have decent health. That maybe you lose a guy here or there, but you're not totally depleted. But easy said and done. But basically 11-3.
So now let's take a break right there. You're at 11-3, right? You have to be either in first place or tied. Or somebody else is kicking ass too. But I gotta believe they're gonna have some room. They'll be in the driver's seat with 3 left, and those 3. Okay, we're gonna go by 1-1, right? The first one, Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders at home. You don't win that one, you shouldn't be 11-3, right? So now we both have them 12-3. Okay, we're on the right track so far. And then the last 2 at Cleveland with Deshaun Watson and our old buddy, who's not happy anymore, right?
There's more.
And then at New England. So I have that where they win one or they lose one. I'm not sure which one. So I kind of think they might lose at Cleveland and then beat New England the second time. But it could be either way. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I'll go with you that when everything's said and done, that's going to make Jets faithful. It comes out to 13-4.
See that? Right? We know. Now, the funny thing is, we could laugh. And in other years, it's all optimistic, like I said before, but it's based out of just hope and just trying to like we always say, our best season is the offseason, the preseason. All that. No, okay. This time it's different. Now, let's look at it this way. Let's analyze. We both have them 13-4. I love it. Yeah, we're on the same page. Now, last year, again, we both had them 9-8 or 8-9. Okay. Now, last year, think of it. They had an easier schedule, no doubt about it. They had no quarterback, right? And a bunch of rookies. Okay. And they had a defense that was getting better. But we never expected their defense was going to be number 4, right? So the idea that they started at 7 wins and ended up with 7 wins is ridiculous. So 9-8 last year with not Aaron Rodgers, just a reasonable quarterback. That's a 10 or 11 win team. It was that good last year. If Mike White, we said it 100 times during the season, if Mike White started the whole way instead of anybody else, if they believed in him, day one, they win 3 more games. They're 10-7, 11, and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, I look at it this year, it's a tougher schedule.
Much tougher.
Can we pick up 4 games, which is really just 2? You and I, we had them at 9 last year. It should have been 11. So all we're looking to find is 3 or 4 wins from last year. But now, what do we have? We have Aaron Rodgers. We have a number 4 defense in climate. Got to fix that Quentin Williams thing, right? And loaded on offense with weapons, right? We got a coaching staff. Salah's in his third year, and he's done nothing each year but make them better. The record didn't show last year, but they were right there. Their players betrayed them. And then finally, now you got Hackett. So I personally think the defense is going to be shooting to be number one. They're going to be in that hunt, or they're not going to be happy next year. It's going to be hard, but they've already put new pieces in that fit well. They didn't just leave it alone and we'll see what happens. They added, and they added on offense. They changed the coaching staff. They have multiple layers of offensive line coaching. This team is in a spot now where they should be 13-4. They should. So I don't care how they get there. And I don't mean to just monopolize, but I'm downright excited about it. And I'm proud of the fact that I think they're going to put 13. And I'm not crazy. Last year, 8 or 9, we were conservative, but they were a better team last year than we thought.
And this
They
is
were better.
7-4. Okay, they go 0-6. But reality is, every one of those 6 games, they pretty much had a chance to friggin' win the game. They had a chance to win all those games. First and one against Minnesota. I mean, how we lost to Minnesota is just every one of those losses was lost in a painful way, and it was craziness. And even the last game, they almost, they could have beat Miami. So the reality is that
Lose 11-6. What the heck is that?
Believe it or not, the craziness here, if you want to really get crazy, if you take those last 6 games and every game changed 2 plays, I know it's ridiculous, but you're looking at 13-4. With a much easier schedule and some maybe a little more production on quarterback, maybe some better offensive play calling, But the Jacksonville game, my God, when Streveler came in, they could have, every one of those games, they had a chance to win. Every single one of those games. It wasn't like, well, they lost by this or that amount. No, every single one of those games, they had a chance that they could have won the game.
Yeah.
So,
last year, think about it. You're right. When we did this last year, huh?
I'm always right.
Yeah. Just ask your wife. Hey, he's always right. Never right. Yeah. No. So last year, after that draft, we thought these guys were good, but we didn't really know what the heck was going to happen. Okay, we got some good guys, first-round picks. They're going to be good, but we've seen that not work, right? We've seen the defense get better, but they weren't stellar yet, So we were figuring 8 wins, 9 wins, but we wouldn't go on the record going a little bit more than that until they showed us what they got going there a little bit more. But after they started to gel, and they were 7-4, all that was missing was a credible quarterback. And you're right, they would have gotten to 12 wins, 11 wins. There's no doubt. So to take where they are now and factor in that it's a tougher schedule, but with all of this improved, groundwork, I mean, 13 wins, yeah, that's to me what they should do. I believe that, Well,
what do you think? What do you think, Jets Nation out there? Let us know through the website or checking on the email. We'd love to talk about it on the next podcast, because really down the road, it's not going to be much to talk about when they're all gone. It's going to be about 6 weeks or a month, 6 weeks when they're gone. And I mean, obviously, I'll keep looking like all of us. I'll be looking every day at Quinnen Williams to hear that it got done. But JD, does he do that Mad Hatter stuff he did with Jamal Adams and get great picks and everything? I don't know. I mean, I don't
see that. He's got to keep it. But to go one other thing about the schedule, right? Think of it. I break it down this way. Okay, you have games that they must win, in my eyes, and games that they should win. The must wins on the road in Denver and Vegas, gotta win, must win. Atlanta, Houston, Washington, must win. Okay, those 5 you gotta win. No excuse. The should wins at New England at home, Giants on the road, Miami at home, and Cleveland on the road. They should win those. Okay, so those are 9 games, Vin. Right? So if they go 8-1 with those games, okay, then you have 8 left. The four division they have to go within the division, and then at Dallas, Kansas City, Philly, and the Chargers. Okay, so those four, right? And if they go 4-4 outside of those 9 wins that I identify as either must or should, and then they just split the rest, you still get to 12 wins, 12-5. So if we're a little off here, there's a little mistake there, they win one or the other. You have 9 teams: Denver, Vegas, Atlanta, Houston, Washington, the Patriots at least once, okay? The Giants on the road, Miami once, Cleveland on the road, okay? So we have the 4 division games that I have them that might not happen. Buffalo once on the road, right? We got them losing that one. Then you have in Miami, we have them losing that one too, right? But then you've got, what's the other one? What am I forgetting? Buffalo, Miami, and New England. Yeah. So those 3, they got to win. But if they can't win them all on the road, and they go 4-4 with those 8 games, I'm not going to go crazy. New England, Miami, Buffalo, Chargers. That's the other one that I'm not sure about. That's a tough one. But, when it all comes out in the wash, if you go 4-4 with those 8 rough games, right? Buffalo, Dallas, Kansas City, Philly, the Chargers, right? And you end up winning 12, that's still unbelievable. And you get to 12 wins, we both say 13. If we're wrong and it's 12, you tell us.
And here's the reality. What when you talk about the record is that we have a chance to be top 5 defense. We have a chance to be a top 5 offense. When was the last time that ever happened? I don't know. Maybe when we had Testaverde and we had what's his name? 28. My God. I'm terrible with names.
Curtis Martin.
Oh, God, Curtis Martin running the ball. Great receivers, really, really good defense, great coaching at the time with Parcells. But other than that, even with Rex trying, we didn't have there was no chance. Even when Sanchez was playing pretty decent and playing better in the playoffs, we didn't have a chance for a top 5 offense. We literally had a chance for a top 5 offense. And when was the last time we said that? Like I said, Curtis Martin, Testaverde, that how long ago was that? And it, there was those few years with Ken O'Brien, and no one, a lot of Jets fans are probably listening don't know who Ken O'Brien is or was. So yeah, we have a chance for a top 5 offense, and that is wild. And that has to make you think that we're knuckleheads. It's all about the passion. We're not big with giving you so many facts and stats and everything. It's all about us rooting for these guys for 55 plus years now. But for us, it's like the reality that it could be a top 5 offense. That makes us think 13-4. It's not like
it's not like it's
usual.
Do the homework, and
right.
It makes sense. It does this time. You can make the case for that, So
and we want to know what you all think. Let us know what you all think. What do you think? Are we crazy? Do you see more wins? I'm curious to what our fans will say.
Win them all, everyone straight to the 18-0, 20 wins, that million games. Who knows?
Someone thinking 17-0.
So that would be 20, right? 17 and then 2 in the Super Bowl. All right, 20-0. It's like, but like I say, if they get to that 5-1, 6-1, then you could start to get that groundswell. You could start thinking that, because then we do this obviously like everyone around the country, barring injuries, you never know what's going to happen, right? But they're due for a year where everybody's is healthy, and you have, if Breece Hall isn't ready, you got this guy from Brooklyn who's going to step in out of nowhere, and Michael Carter. You got Kuntz, the big tall tight end now to go along with these other guys. My God, look at that receiver room. Jeez, man, ridiculous.
Where you're holding on to Corey Davis, and I could see him having a very much better season with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, again, you have him and
you have Conklin, you have Zamba. You have Ruckett, the kid from last year, who blocks. They found out in the last Miami game, blocks like a monster.
Well, they're gonna have 4 tight ends. I don't know. One of them's got to go, right? You're gonna keep this guy Kuntz too, man. Well, maybe somebody goes on the practice squad, but then they're gonna get picked, So
Well,
that's stupid to say that, but I
no,
don't
no, no. Listen,
know.
Conklin, Uzama, the big articles, a lot of articles was, Uzama wasn't showing well as a blocker and a route runner. So does Ruckett maybe skip over him? It's very interesting, what could possibly happen. But it's
Right.
going to be fun watching these guys when they're back and when things really go full throttle again. I want Quinn and Williams. I want them on the team. I hope they figure it out. I'm hoping JD, whether it's giving him a shitload of guaranteed money or more of that Woody money. I gave Woody my kudos for I wanted him out, just going away. I wanted Chris to take
Can't
care of
play
it.
around with this. It'll undo everything
But
that they've
you know
done.
what? He
Got
put
to
his
do
money where his mouth is, and he put the money for Rogers. So take care of Quinn, Woody. Figure it out, buddy. I
it.
gave you kudos. Figure it out for Quinn. Let's get him on the team. You and JD work on it. Get Chris in there, Chris Johnson, who I'm a big fan of.
They might grab that other linebacker too from Minnesota that jobbed them if they grab him, right? I forgot his name now. What the heck's his name?
The one who denied us. I
Right.
don't want to even say his name. The one who denied us like
Yeah.
the
So,
last second.
yeah,
You
they
know,
just keep adding people, bodies, good guy. I mean, uh, uh, it gets crazy because he's done a really good job this year. So we'll see what it translates to.
you know what? Bottom line is getting my bitterness about what Quinn and Williams did on Twitter, just being positive. Come on, JD. Get this one done, baby. Get it done.
Yeah.
One of my team. And there's a big pro Juan Alexander. He's like his own personal fan club.
Yeah.
That,
Well, he did a good job, man.
people
You
want
got
him back. People want him back. So we'll see. But obviously, they always say JD knows what he's doing. So here we go. Jets Nation, 13-4. What do you think? What do you
let
think,
us know.
baby?
You be the judge and jury this time.
Let
No, but
us know what you think.
you'll let us know. All right. So
All
13,
right.
both of
All
us.
right.
Yeah. All right,
As
guys.
he says, as the Mets guy says, 14, put her in the books.
Put them in the books. That's right. Put them in the books. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll talk.
Good night, everybody.
You got it.